Hi everyone, I'm Ellen Jaffe Jones. I'm an Emmy-winning journalist, a national-level sprinter, and a plant-based budget coach, because that's what we're all concerned about today. And today I want to show you just how well I can eat and stay fit on just $5 a day. And how does that work exactly? Well, I'm going to give you a big example. One of my favorite proteins is quinoa, and I've been nibbling off this all day long, because quinoa has more protein in it than any other whole grain out there. So just really good about boosting your protein levels if that's something you're concerned about. And people just don't come up to me and say, you really look like you have a protein deficiency. I do not. In fact, just adding to my credibility a little bit here, just yesterday, I placed in my 323rd 5K or longer race for my age group. So one of these is the finisher's medal, the other is the age group award. And behind me, those are mostly age group awards. They're not just finisher's medals. So it is definitely a way that you can stay fit by doing that really cheap sport called running. You don't really need a whole lot of fancy things, just like some good running shoes. And we'll be talking about my favorite running shoes in the future, but it just doesn't take a lot to stay fit and to eat a diet that really helps you achieve your goal of eating well on a budget. And that's what I've been doing for the better part of 45 years as I watched my mom, aunt, and both sisters get breast cancer. What you see behind me is not just a lot of talk, but these are the receipts for my work. I try, when it's in season here in Florida, to race every weekend, as I did this weekend, just because A, it's so beautiful, but it's really forced training. And the big problem that most 72-year-olds have is a lack of motivation, and then just some of the diseases and conditions like arthritis, which I don't have, because vegans typically don't get arthritis when we eat this way. So this is just how I've done it for me, and there are lots of different whole grains. I eat beans or some form of it, like tofu, which is made from the soybean in the form of edamame, or just a more processed tofu. And it just really works for me to stay healthy and not get sick. Just a few weeks ago, I did a 10K and placed in my age group in that one. So I just collect these because somebody came up to me at a race in about 2011 when my first book came out and said, "Oh, you can't run on a vegan diet, and you certainly can't be competitive." And it's like, that just lit the light, and it's like, you bet you can, and I'm gonna set out to change the world and prove to the world that you can do all of this on a vegan diet, a plant-based diet. And I really never thought that I would just be placing in my age group, but as I started aging up and staying healthy and not getting injured, those are the two big things: not getting injured and staying healthy and having the energy to do all this. That's what propelled me to start placing in my age group. And sometimes I would even joke, it's just all about showing up. I mean, that's not entirely the case. And there are some very fast runners. There are runners who are way faster than me in my age group. But the whole point of this was to show that you could do it on a plant-based diet. And I hope I've set that record straight, but I hear all kinds of things. At the race this morning, though, we had, it wasn't a competitive race, but it was our annual picnic for the Minnesota Track Club, which is a combination of Manatee County and Sarasota County in our areas. And they said we have vegan hot dogs. So, I know that I'm making a difference by getting out there and inspiring other people, because in these tough economic times, who has the money to buy steak or fish? Every once in a while, just to freak myself out, I go to the meat counter and the fish counter and look at the prices, and I go, like, who can afford this? This is just nuts. So, and nuts aren't that expensive either. But the price of quinoa, I just checked it on ChatGPT, my reliable source for everything these days. 23 cents per ounce at Walmart. So you multiply it by 4, because 4 ounces is considered a serving, and that's about 90 cents for a 4-ounce serving of high quality protein that won't give you cholesterol and won't do nasty other things to your arteries and your body. Tomorrow I'm going in for my blood work for my annual physical, so that's one of the reasons I'm just eating very clean today, no added fats, because I've had issues. I have a high cardiac calcium score, probably from doing too much high protein dieting in my high school years and my college years, and that stuff just doesn't go away. But the cardiologist has said my heart has probably done its own bypass, which is with the high calcium score that I have, they said I should have died 5 years ago. You can only take these things so far, right? And just keep doing what you're doing and working at whatever it is that works well for you, because the blood tests don't lie, generally speaking. And that's what I've always used to kind of figure out what I should be doing. And once my cholesterol started shooting up when I was younger, it's like, oh, I'm way too young to be on medicine, so what else can I do? And of course, being the youngest in my family, looking at my family of origin and how much cancer was there, and they all had heart disease and diabetes, I knew that just wasn't anything I wanted to get if it was at all possible to avoid it. So genes don't determine destiny. My share of bad genes, although our family was part of the BRCA1 and BRCA2 gene studies, and as it turns out, as I suspected, I do not have the gene, but couldn't find that out until I went on Medicare, and the research that helped develop that gene testing then became available as a commonly obtained test. And so I don't have the gene for cancer, but heart disease and Alzheimer's, that's a whole nother thing. So got to keep staying fit, stay in motion, however you do it. Really, I do running because it's an efficient use of my time, but walking is very good. Biking, swimming, all of that is so good. So, and most of it is just completely free. I mean, I spend some money on these races, but you don't have to do that. Find a buddy to go walking with or running with. It all works. All right, we'll be back with more of these next time. See you then. Gotta run.